5 grind where it's just gets like you go to work. Well, I mean, you could go out too if you wanted to, but I feel like there's less of like an implication to go out because I feel like in college you have that party scene. You're just around with a bunch of people.
You're forced to go out because people are like, come on.
Exactly. You have more of that like peer pressure, I will say, to like go out. Whereas if you were graduated and you have a steady job where it's just like it's less likely to happen. Like you might go out once a week, but it's not going to be that typical like maybe Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. What basically what it would be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I totally get that. So going into our last topic, what is it like being a bouncer?
It's not as glamorous as people would like it to be.
Really?
No. I mean, the thing about it, I work at Bros and I bounce right now. I've been doing it for about 2 months. Yeah, 2 months now. And the thing about it though is like, what's nice about it is like there's a story every night is basically what it boils down to. But like you have a night where like, oh, like some chick tried to do like one of my favorites ever is like this girl, she tried coming up and this is what she tried to do. You could definitely tell what she was trying to do. The first thing she comes up and she's like, you're really cute. And then she's like, I don't want to come in, but like, I'm just going to go. And like, that's the thing is too, like, people are like, oh, you're just gonna have people hit on you, but like, I get it. Like, yeah, they're gonna hit on you so they can get in. Mm-hmm. So you can like, they can try to like finesse you to get in. But I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, as soon as I let you in, you're just gonna go talk to another guy. So I'm like, that's not gonna benefit me. Yeah. Like, literally at all. So like, I get the whole game you're trying to play, but like, it's just not gonna work. So then she comes back and like 5 minutes later, she gives me her ID. It was like the worst I've seen all night. And then I'm like, no. Like, she was nice, so I gave it back. I was like, no. She's like, okay. So she takes it, slowly walks away, then comes back, tries to do this, like, NFL spin move, and tries to, like, spin around me. I literally just put out my arm, and then I was just like, no. And then I just, like kind of, like, lead her out a little bit. She comes back 5 minutes later, and then she tries giving it to the other guy. And I was like, I told the other guy, I was like, it's fake. And then he's like, get out. And then he's like, he's going to take it. Because like, I was like, I already told her once. So if we tell you twice, like, we're going to take it.
Right.
And so she's like, you better give it back. He's like, what are you going to do? She's like, oh, I'll scream. And he's like, we're trying not to put up with this. He's like, all right. He's like, you want it? And he starts waving the ID at the door. And I was like, he's like, you got to get it. And then she like stops. She's like in her spot. She looks like she's going to get it like 1 to 2, 3 times. And she bolts, grabs it, and just darts out of the bar. And it's still one of my favorite ones.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Other than that, though, it's like dealing just with like a lot of drunk people and just you got a lot of people puking. The worst is dealing with people on coke. If they're doing like in the bathrooms or something, you got to get them out. That's the worst. Have you ever tried to talk to someone who's wired up on cocaine, trying to tell them to get out of a bar? It's not easy.
What are they like?
Really tense. They're really tense. Their eyes are so dilated. And, like, as soon as, like, you try to, like, lay a hand on them, like, they're, like, everything's just tense. I was like, yo, like, you gotta go, buddy.
How do you know they're doing it?
Usually I'll get, like, a call and, like, someone, like, you'll hear about it. Like, you'll hear their friends. Their friends are loud. They're drunk. They're like, oh, he's doing coke in the bathroom. Like, you'll hear it. Like there's staff everywhere. Like, you'll hear it. And then usually when people, also in the bathrooms, you'll hear people complaining, like, they're like, you can hear it. Like, you can hear that really aggressive sniff that you can just, like, hear it.
You know.
And then you can just look at their eyes, too, and it's as clear as day.
Yeah,
But, like, yeah, dealing with stuff like that is probably up there with, like, the worst. Just, like... God. Other than that, I don't know. Taking, like, the IDs is, like, it's low-key.
How do you spot a fake? Like, how did you develop that?
Oh, well, manager trains you a little bit. There's a couple ways that, like, they're easy to spot the fakes. I'm going to just say, like, I don't even know if I should say it.
Oh, you're not going to give us exclusive content?
I don't even know if I should say it.
In general. Okay, give us general rules with fakes, then. You don't have to go specific.
Biggest thing is, like, the picture.
If it's, like, what,
you can tell. There's, like, you get, like, shadows. A lot of people will have shadows. Like, it's not even that big of a shadow, but you can tell. Like, most IDs will never have a shadow. like the real IDs will never have a shadow, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can tell, like, if they've been taken, like, with a picture or a camera.
It's not
and,
good
like,
quality.
Yeah, it's not as good as quality. The faces are large, like, farther away. Like, with IDs, like, they like to show your face. Like, it's usually pretty big. If it's too far away, like, it'll be stuff like that. But a lot of it gives it away on the back, too. So, it's just, like, simple things like that. But it's, like...
No, I honestly, like, I've had to check IDs a couple times for, like,
Yeah,
my job.
Eagle
and
Nest.
There's, like, a couple times where I've seen them and, like, they're usually all reels that I've seen, but I'm like, I can tell this isn't you, but, like...
Yeah.
I'm like, well, maybe. Then I start to second guess myself, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, well...
Yeah. I remember my first day on the job, though, trying to check fakes. I got the cops called on me twice because I tried to take 2 reels. It was funny. I know, like, because, like, it was my first day bouncing, and I remember this guy, and he gave me, like, a Minnesota ID, and I was like, this is fake. And he's like, oh my god, he's like, you don't know what a real Minnesota looks like. And I was like, clearly I do, and this is not one. And then, and I was like, if you got a problem with it, go get the cops, they're right there. He literally walks over to the cops, he starts talking to them. I'm talking to my other bouncer, I was like, I think it's real. Because who would in the right mind go all the way over there and go get it? And he's pointing at me. And I was like, dude, I think this is real. And then he came up with the cops. I'm like, I already know it's real. And I'm like, okay, I'm like, just check. And he's like, yeah, this is real. I was like, oh, shit.
Sorry.
I'm like, sorry.
Well, I mean, what did that take? 2 minutes out of his life? He'll be fine.
Yeah, I guess. But I'd be pretty annoyed too, I guess.
Yeah,
if that happened
I
to
would
me.
too.
Because I remember when I went to Arizona, like, just because my ID was vertical, they almost didn't let me into bars because it wasn't horizontal.
Which is such a stupid
Which is
rule.
weird.
Anyway, now we're moving on to everyone's favorite segment. Next question. So we're going to get into our questions of the week for you, Bowen.
Why don't you say next question aggressive to me?
Because honestly, when I listen to it, I've been cringing at myself. So I really need to figure out a new way to say it.
Okay.
That's not sufficient. It's just so cringy when I am editing it back.
Okay, fair enough.
But, okay, the first question is, what things get on both of your nerves? I feel like you have a long list. Mine are, like, pet peeves is, like, chewing gum with people who, like, pull their gum out of their mouth. It just grosses me out.
Okay.
So much, like, string their gum. Nothing grosses me out more.
Like, string it?
Like, yeah, pull, like, part of the gum's still in their mouth, and you pull the rest with your fingers.
Yeah.
That stuff just...
Okay.
Ugh.
That is a little... Yeah,
That's the one that came to the top of my mind.
A pet peeve of mine...
I also
think, like, not being able to, like, handle your alcohol is, like, really bad for me. If you're, like, sloppy, and, like, especially when we go out and I have to, like, take care of you, and I'm, like, have to be, like, yeah, I'm with this guy, like, that's not just embarrassing for you, it's for me. Like, look what you're doing to me, too.
Yeah.
And, like, and I have to take care of you, like, it'd be, like, 12 a.m., and, like, we just got there, and I have to take care of you, or I have to tell you to start drinking water, or something. That also gets, like, on my nerves, like, a lot. Because I always, like, I try to pride myself on, like, being that person that never needs help. Like, okay, maybe I would, like, maybe once in a blue moon if I get, like, really bad. Which everyone has. But if you're consistent with it, then I have an issue.
Yeah, true. I think my other thing is, like, people who aren't direct. That shit drives me nuts. I'm like, get to the point and tell me. Like, just in general.
Okay. Yeah.
People who beat around the bush.
Shit
bothers me.
I guess, like, I also could do that, too. Like, not being direct, like, also, like, if you have, like, a problem with something, you have to tell me. It's also
like,
the thing,
passive-aggressiveness.
Passive-aggressive is probably one of my biggest things. Like, if you have a problem, like, because I think, like, if you don't, like, address the problem, it will never get solved. Mm-hmm. Is basically how I think. Like, I'll tell you if, like, I have a problem with you doing whatever. I will say it. Like, I'm not trying to be, like, a dick about it. I'm just, like, letting you know, like, yes, this is bothering me. Like, let's do this or something else. Let's work on it.
Yeah.
But if you were, like, if I was doing something to you, because, like, I'm not perfect. I do a lot of things that probably piss people off. But, like, if I'm doing it, just, like, let me know. Then I'll be like, okay, I'll dial it down a little bit, or I'll do something different.
Right.
Is basically what it is. Like, just, like, tell me. Because, like, I don't want you basically to, like, if I'm doing something, me continuing to do it, not knowing that it's, like, pissing you off, then going to everybody like, oh, he did this, and, like, oh, why does he have to do, like, didn't tell me. Like, I don't know.
No, I totally agree.
So I guess, like, passive-aggressive, too, is, like, also another thing that people might.
Yeah. The next question is, what is the perfect girl for you, and how would you make your move on her?
Honestly, I have no idea what the perfect girl for me is. I have no idea. You think you do one day,
but you don't.
You know, like I'll be interested in a girl, and I'll be like, yeah, like she seems cool, and then like a month later, I'll be like, oh no, she's not what I thought she was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll like, okay, well, I think in my opinion, I've been told this a lot. Is like I just have really unrealistic standards, and I can find one thing, and it will just completely shut me out for some reason. Like literally, like one thing. I'll be like. One of my biggest things is like if I introduce you to my family, you're doing good. Like you're doing really good. I think I only introduced one girl to like one of my siblings before, but like if like what my family's opinions weighs on you is like huge.
Right.
That is huge because if you think about it, okay, because like what's like the purpose of dating?
To marry.
Exactly. So if you're not dating to marry, you're dating to break up.
Oh,
why would you put all that time, all that money into someone that you know you're going to break up with? And like the thing is like also with marriage, like you're not just marrying the person, you're marrying into the family. If you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're going to be around forever. And like what their opinion thinks about the person, the guy and the girl, I think weighs like so much. You got to make sure they click with your family too. Like they get along. Like I should have to leave you with like my family, like whether it be my sister or like my brothers, and like you should be able to like not be awkward, like not let it be awkward, but like you know like be able to still like just kind of be like one with the fam.
Vibe with the fam.
You know, vibe with the fam. You know, just hang out, like just be like kind of like that. That's what I look for. Also, and like that, not just my family, also my friends. Like I like if I bring you all obviously around my friend group, then also I think pretty highly of you, and I'm also kind of seeing like how like you get along with them. But also I'm not gonna judge it off the first time either because that's also really intimidating. If like if it's just you and it's me and like I'm bringing you with my friends, obviously it's gonna be you got to break the barriers a little bit.
Right.
So I'll give it more than like a couple, but like I'll obviously hear the opinions, but like I don't take it into account too much on the first time because like obviously. It's a lot of pressure. So.
Right. No, I completely agree. Can you please give these men style tips is the next question.
What men?
Anyone listening.
Oh, okay. I guess just like, for me, I don't know. I like to take risks when it's like comes to clothing. Like I love clothing. Like, it is something I just absolutely love. I love style. I love clothing. If I could do, like, a career, like, in it, I probably would. Or, like, design something or have, like, my own clothing brand or something. I would love to do that.
I could see you being good at that.
I would love to do it, but I just know it, like, I just have a feeling that's just not what I'm going to, like, end up doing. Like, if I had that big of a passion for it, I probably would already try to pursue that. So I don't think that's in it. But I do love, like, clothing and, like, having good style. I think a lot of it is, like... wearing what you're confident in is like huge.
Yeah.
I think that's huge. Like
look good, feel good.
Yeah, look good, feel good. Exactly. Like you just know like and like honestly God, like who cares? Like a big thing for me is like I hate dressing like everybody else. Mm-hmm. Is a big thing. I like to stand out a little bit, whether that be like with jackets or like the kind of pants or whatever it might be. Like I don't like the whole thing like it's like a lot of big like sweatpants, sweatshirts, and like a flannel over it. Like that's a big thing that's going. It looks good, but everybody does it. It's kind of like the thing. Everybody does it. Yeah, like I'm like I don't want to do that, but also like I don't want to be just like that. I also want to do like wear what I also feel good, what I feel confident in. Mm-hmm. So then I'd like when people like be like, oh, like I like that's kind of, like sometimes it might be weird. Like oh, that's kind of weird. Like I've never really seen that. I'll be like, oh, like, sometimes it's a hit or miss. Like, sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't, which is nice when somebody, like, checks you on it, like, oh, like, that's kind of whack. I hope somebody can tell me that, because, like, some, like, things that I have done, like, they just didn't hit. Like, I look back, I'm like, why did I try that? But, like, you know,
but
if you don't try it, then you won't know.
At least you didn't wear Nike sweatpants and the high-top socks and called it an outfit.
Yeah, as I'm wearing Puma sweats right now.
Whatever, I mean, it's casual.
It's a late night, but yeah. But,